Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Erin and Julie here. I'm Erin Finke from the E-Team Mortgage Advisors.
And Julie Robinson of Julie Robinson and Mark Smith Associates with Remax Realty Group.
So we just wanted to pop on here. We've been getting lots of questions on both sides on what's happening in the housing market and what's happening in the mortgage market in regards to COVID-19. And a lot of people have been calling and asking the same questions. So we kind of want to just put together a couple of topics and kind of just touch on them real quick, hoping it brings value to you. And of course, if you have questions, you know where to reach us. But we're hoping this also, encourages more conversation about what's happening, how we are all adapting, and really just going to be thriving when we all come out of this together. So,
Right. And it's still continuing to happen now. There's a lot of people still getting mortgages and buying homes, and
oh
and
yeah,
some people don't realize that that's still going on, and we're still working. We're just doing it differently.
exactly. I think there have been a lot of things that have come out in the media from, the top level as far as government, financial institutions and stuff that have, and agencies that kind of say a blanket statement and then it kind of trickles down to like, well, how do we interpret that as a consumer, a homeowner, a home seller, a lender, a real estate agent? So a few of the things, that we had to kind of acknowledge and adapt to was how originally we were, were we essential or not essential employees when that first came out from Larry Hogan. So Julie, what was it that they came out with as far as guidance for real estate agents and how to adapt your business practices?
Okay, so when Governor Hogan first came out and told us, we all needed to stay at home, this included all of us, realtors, because we were considered non-essential. And then I believe there was a national conversation, and it was decided that no one wanted the real estate market to stop. We are in spring. This is the best time of the year for sales, and they wanted to make a decision on how to start it back up safely to keep everyone safe while selling homes and moving.
Yeah, I
So
mean, people still need to move.
right, they do. And the first quarter of this year was phenomenal. It was one of the best first quarters we've seen in a while, and no one wanted it to just stop. So there's still a lot of buyers out there buzzing around, and there's not a lot of inventory. So it's a perfect time to start planning.
Right.
You know, I should I put my house on the market this year, maybe after this calms down? And the answer is yes, because it will. We'll just be doing it a little differently when we
Yeah.
sell.
I think that's the most interesting part, at least that I've kind of seen out there, is that there are people who have to make decisions from moving for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, if you're renting and your lease is up, or you're trying to get into a certain school district before the school year starts, there's also a lot of uncertainty on what that looks like buying in this pandemic. So to that point, Julie, as the real estate market is still moving, you're just adapting to how you're doing day-to-day business. It's the same in the lending side. Things have gotten more strict, just as they have on what realtors should be doing out on the streets as far as wearing face coverings and all of that. On the lending side, I have the luxury of I can sit in my home office and do pretty much anything from anywhere, but I'm staying home. And the challenges that we're seeing is a little bit stricter lending guidelines, right? There are some things that have tightened up a little bit. We are seeing some people who are furloughed or not working at all, and that's challenging. If you have any specific questions on how that relates to someone who's watching, obviously we want to have that conversation with you to figure out the plan, because we do know that we will come out of this. It's just a matter of time, and putting the steps into place so that you are set up for success is going to be the most important piece to when things begin to open back up. You're not a couple weeks behind in the homework that you need to do to get ready and figure out where you stand as far as qualifying for a mortgage. If you're selling a home, you got to get your home ready. Julie, if you have someone who's looking to sell right now and buy at the same time, what would
Right.
your recommendation be as far as their first steps in
So, so first steps, I would say, reach out to us. We can do a virtual call just like this. Um, to
technology is pretty awesome with this
It
stuff for
is. It
sure.
really, really is. And we could, tour your home with you like this if you're uncomfortable having us come in, give you some ideas on how to prepare, some staging ideas.
Cool.
Um, all of the providers of services for listings have adapted as well. We're getting stagers to come in with masks. We're getting home inspectors to come in with masks, and they prefer, to not be in the home with too many people.
Sure.
So um, everyone involved in the whole real estate transaction, from you, the lender, to the title company, to the inspectors, stagers, everyone has adapted to the new guidelines of Larry Hogan, and that is to, keep everybody safe.
Someone needs a house, Julie. Gotta pick up the phone.
I know.
That's
So
awesome.
I feel like spring had just started when this
Yeah.
pandemic came out, so I think we're just going to have a delayed market. Um, I think a lot of people being cooped up for this long have realized, oh my goodness, we need a bigger home. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a really good market later on in the year. And if you want to be a part of it, I think it's a good time. Just mortgage rates are still pretty good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I know there's some restrictions from some of the government loans right now.
Yeah. There are some, different adjustments and guidelines, and some, we're still waiting on some guidance as far as you mentioned government programs. A lot of the down payment assistance programs are kind of suspended for a period of time. Again, all of this stuff is temporary. So we want to be able to have a conversation about what makes most sense to you. We can still do a loan pre-qualification based on, what we are planning for the future. It doesn't have to be just today, which I think is a big piece that Julie, our teams together have talked about a lot. It doesn't, even if you're not ready to move today or put your house in the market today, we want to have a conversation so that we can identify what steps should be taken so that we can put you in a place
So
where
you're
you're ready to
ready.
buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your point about inventory, I mean, there's going to be my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of homes that are going to hit the market at once because everyone's been kind of holding off to put their house in
Everyone's
the
waiting,
market. We are
right?
seeing new listings every week, but I do think there is a big pool of people who would have done it and haven't just even considered it yet, just based on, maybe their own personal circumstances.
Right. And
So,
it's a lot easier to sell your home now if you've already moved out of it too.
of course, of course.
So there's a lot of those on the market right now. But even so, we're still practicing safe social distancing as we tour those homes. And we're instructing buyers to touch as little as possible. We're having all the lights turned on and all the drawers and closet doors open before you come in, so you don't have to touch as much. And then everything is wiped down after each showing, and that's just part of the process. So
Yeah, it's normal
there's,
routine these days.
yeah, I mean, there's a way to do it. If you want to look at properties now, we are showing homes safely. So just let us know.
Awesome. And on that note, as well, as far as another note on the lending side, a lot of sellers are saying, well, I don't want an appraiser in my house. I don't want an appraiser coming through and, a stranger coming into their home and taking pictures. Well, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, everyone's really getting on the same page as far as some adaptations to what's needed. Traditionally it's an appraiser comes up, knocks on the door, and the homeowner lets them in, or the real estate agent lets them in, and they kind of go through the house and take pictures and do all these things. Well, in many cases now we can just do a drive-by appraisal, which is crazy. Never in my career
I
in the mortgages has that been across the board, been accepted. But we have to remember that our little niche of the world is going through this, but the whole world is going through it. So a lot of adaptation has been happening across the board. And again, it's taking some time for clarity to trickle down on specifics. However, for a seller who maybe doesn't want someone in their home, that's another big piece of this, that there are ways for, on the lending side, for your buyers financing, there are ways to get around having a stranger in your home in that case. So
Right. And I think we're just, between Erin and I, we get a lot of questions every day. There's a lot of uncertainty. People are scared,
sure,
but
yeah,
everyone's level of fear is different. Um, so just know that the real estate and mortgage world is still going on right now.
yeah.
And
Thank goodness we're blessed to still have jobs. A
we
lot of
are,
people don't. So
we,
I'm very
we're
thankful.
blessed to have Zoom
Yes,
because we've
definitely.
been able to stay in contact with not only clients, but family and school. I've been doing school with my grandson. He's in the first grade, and I think it's phenomenal that they've been able to keep things going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good. I think this is a good start, guys. I think we're going to start keep doing these once we get more, as soon as we get more questions on it. I know we actually had some specific questions we were going to answer, but it worked out well as far as our kind of volleying back and forth. One thing I do want to say publicly is Julie's daughter is a nurse and on the front lines every single day, and we are so thankful for all of our healthcare workers. So
Thank
thank you,
you.
Jen. Thank you,
Yes.
Julie, for being there.
Thank you, everyone who's doing
Yes.
your part.
Everyone who's out there keeping everything running, we are thankful for you, and we are keeping you in our thoughts. And on that note, we'll say goodbye for
Stay
now.
safe,
And
stay
let us,
healthy, and
yes,
we'll see you again.
we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.